11 days ago. Okay, so they had at least a week ahead of time, but still, that's a couple of weeks behind that other teams were scrimming. So maybe we can give them a little bit of slack, but you're right. It's still not a very good start for them.
No, as we have a fairly vanilla plane coming onto Miramar. I don't think anybody's really going to have too many problems. I'm trying to think desperately if I mean, yeah, we have Illusions drop there. Well, their Audible drop is down in Valdemar, but everybody should be able to get to where they need to go off of that. So it shouldn't be too many surprises in the early game.
Oop.
Except this, I guess.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a surprise for Dirty Zin. You can see Skazk in the back, maybe trying to be a little bit of support for his teammate.
Elusive would typically be in Azahar, so I guess this is like we're not going to make it to our spot, and that's a commit to the usual compound that Zin would take in this situation. But the last gun you want to find when 4 people drop on top of you on a rooftop is an S12K.
You prefer to have the revolver?
Almost definitely in every single scenario, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, because to make use of the S12K, he's got to drop off the roof, right?
True. True. Fair point. And at least if you get a kill with the revolver, that's a highlight. S12K, not so much. But let's see how we can get out of the situation. Because Elusive aren't really able to push him on top of that roof, it does pin them down at least momentarily. And even if he's not looting up that much, his teammates, they can see almost surrounding Elusive, could find some loot and come in for support. So I think there's an opportunity that Zin gets saved. Especially here from Skazka and Fizzle. Okay, I didn't know if he was trying to find a high ground angle onto that roof. Or chasing after Skazka, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. As the barrel, it's a pretty not great iron sight. It's not as bad as the Scar, but oh, speaking of which, okay, he's got a 2x. We're good.
Yeah, I think again, don't really expect either side of this to massively force the issue, but looking like Fizzle might pick up this kill once he decides to leave the compound. Elsewhere, like I said, no real overlap anywhere else on the map. Everybody's kind of getting to where they wanted to. Obviously, Rumbler's now a lot of space given across with their drop spot in this particular Circle 1.
So I think we're going to keep an eye on this engagement, but it's a center Miramar circle. And so those are notoriously the slowest early games. And actually, Skazka is able to find a way to circumvent Fizzle's angle that he's holding. So, like, 2 ships passing in the night. Fizzle might realize something is up. He's jumping around. He saw him jump spot earlier. Realizes that he doesn't spot anything. And now the entirety of Pros Don't Snake are coming in to rescue their boy and Dodie Zin. But I think Elusive are just falling away. They left Fizzle behind. I hope that he has some vehicle on that road that he can find. But they're just going to go away all the way to El Azahar to continue their loot and make their way in. So what we thought was going to be at least a moment of action in the early game, we're now back to
normality, really.
Yeah. Watch any good shows lately?
I mean, chat was absolutely molding at the fact we were talking about pronunciation of words last game. Some full-on cringe from the casters.
Man.
I mean,
I guess we could play this rotation.
We could play, but mine pulls up.
Oh.
Tiggleton, red dot. Oh my god, he scoped in. He's looking at the barn. That was close. He nearly saw the long building behind the barn there. Shrimsy inside a building. Oh, popping off some ump shots. Look at that. Putting out some damage, getting some windows broken there, Cam.
Yeah, very good play there. I know Shrimsy, actually, real talk. Shrimsy has been sort of taking over McCoy's original position in the North American player base as being the pro who cares the most about pointless stats such as most times vaulted. And as we see here, potentially most windows broken.
Yeah, I mean, Veritas pulling up on the backside here. Shrimsy maybe sending out the pufferfish signal. H-Win going to pull up towards the south of this compound. I think Shrimsy going to be able to get out. Has he got a vehicle there? I'm not entirely sure. But Veritas going to commit to the crash here. Shrimsy might get a peek on the backside of this building. I think he is conscious of the fact that Veritas could be split up in the terrain above.
Yeah, definitely a good call for him. Jazz is pulling away, and I see shots from him.
no.
It's not even Veritas that are punishing him right now. Looping around, peeking in through the window. He's not spotted. Okay, I say that. He is now spotted by Jazza, but H-Twin gets that first knock and a full kill onto Jazza.
Here you go. Here's the collapse. Mime and Tiggleton came in after H-Twin picks up that anchor position, finds the first kill. Shrimzy hasn't been confirmed, I don't think. I didn't spot it there in the kill feed. I'm pretty sure he's still downed up there. But Michael gonna swing wide on the window there. The rest of the building burns around him. Down to 23 HP. He's got to get this kit off.
Falling away properly because he knows more grenade follow-ups are coming. Dichi's trying to toss out more utility, and this next Molotov might be the one to secure that point onto Shrimzy. He's going to smoke off the balcony just to stop Ambino and the rest of Clueless of putting more pressure onto them. And here is the fight over the terrain. Keenan's going fishing with Dynamite, doesn't find H-Win. Now Tiggleton drops D-Treats. This is bad for Veritas. I thought they had a really big advantage in this fight.
Yeah.
But Shrimzy able to hold on. The rest of Sonics, as you mentioned, collapsing in and just completely not only saving their boy, they're saving this compound.
Oh, this cross as well across the doorway. It's going to be so difficult. Mime spots it, but again, because Tiggleton's gone over for that res, he can't really go in and pressure this. He does pop a flash in there, and he's going to bounce one off here and then maybe peek in through the doorway. He's actually going to go in. He's going to re-knock D-Treats. And that doorway now blocked. Oh, he pulls out the flash. Nearly caught by Michael there, but Ambino now going to knock Tiggleton. Oh my, what? Michael actually finds Mime through the ground floor window. Oh my God, Keenan finds Shrimzy. There's two down now for Sonics. It's just H-Win alive. What? Rumblers are here.
This is all falling apart for Sonics. We were just saying that they were regaining control of that situation. But did they just forget that Clueless had that line of sight? Running out in the open like that, punished all the way. And now Keenan does get secure, and that's a point for Waldo. And now he's trying to go for more against H-Win. Doesn't find it, but taken very, very low. That is Sonics out in 16th place. Because everyone, and I mean everyone, collapsed in on that fight.
Yeah, I mean, Sonics, they made the right move. I don't think and it's difficult. It's really difficult. Yeah. When you've got Shrimzy down in the top floor, you want to play for that res at the same time. So you don't want to force your hand and push the long building. Notoriously difficult building to clear. But hats off to Clueless. Clueless were hitting some shots there, Cam.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but if you look on the map, they were not that close. That was like maybe 200, 300 meters. My judgment of distance is really, really bad, even worse than my math. But they were landing them with considerable consistency.
Yeah, really, really good stuff from them. Again, I mean, great awareness from Rumblers as well. They pulled up on that. It's a textbook third party.
Yeah, they do fall away a little bit onto Mikado, waiting for phase 1 to close, only a couple of seconds remaining. Alo gets knocked somehow, and that's also a dead Fabled member. There's a story there. Don't know exactly what it is, but the next circle is going to shift a little bit towards the west. It's a medium shift, but it looks a lot harsher than it actually is because of how many people were playing, leaning just a little bit towards the east.
Yeah, now you see a little bit of a transition for a few teams here. You can see Haxetti sending it down away from Minas. In tricky terrain here. There's actually a perfect dirt road over to his left. I'm not sure why he opted for the bumpy terrain, but he's going to get through nonetheless. How often do we see people flipping cars on Miramar, Cam?
A lot. A fair bit, being honest. And, ooh, Purdy drives past Fabled. Gives a couple of, no, should have given some honks if they were polite. Like some bus drivers.
Wait.
But no, it's going to pull up. Wait. Whoop. Hello?
Yeah, ATC pulling up as well. STK and ATC just seem to have a magnet attached, and they're just they're just in sync with each other.
I mean, they do loot around the same area on both maps, but you're right, at this rate, it is getting a little, it's a little ridiculous. It's almost like they have feelings for each other. I think maybe they should just admit it, be open with themselves, and actively ask the other person out for a coffee. Instead, they're just going to shoot each other. A little unfortunate turn of things, but dating in 2020 is really hard, so you can't blame them too much, I suppose.
Yeah, tough
Oh!
break. Okay, no, it exploded inside. No, it exploded on the doorway. What?
I don't know.
I mean, the trail would imply it exploded on the doorway, so I don't know how that didn't do any damage at all.
Yeah.
Numbers advantage in favor of ATC here, but you can see again the long building becomes a factor. You never want to have to clear a sharp shot and a vault onto the. Oh my god, this could be sick. Creep. Now we need one of his teammates to keep shooting the gun to hide these footsteps.
Oh, it was
Okay.
spotted, it was called, and actually a lot of damage and a full confirmed by Uncivil with the secondary peek. He's not going to let Sharp Shot get away with that. Final 2 taps to the dome. He's going to secure that kill and it's going to even up the player base between the two sides. 3 versus 3, and Marcelic was unable to deal some damage from the high ground. It's coming out, but I think Luke, is he falling away? No, he's still dodging grenades though. DC1 out, I think.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, they should at this point. Like I said, having control of the long building, it just creates such a stalemate, and you're boxed into that 1-2 story on the other side. But now SDK going to punish Norkis. Gets plucked out of the Bronco as they try and flee.
The retreat called. And now where can ATC go? They find an open graveyard. This is not exactly a position that you can probably hold, especially not with only 2 players. They're just going to try and survive for now. It's Tactical 8 on the high ground just to their east. And there's a number of other teams all surrounding them. But outside of some pot shots here and there, there's no other fighting that's going on because we have less than 10 seconds until the next phase decides itself. Sell it. That's a free one. Take it. Waiting for teammates. There it is.
Nice team shot. Nice team shot.
Secured as well. He almost made it under that cover, but I think there was enough damage that he would bleed out either way, but still, a good secure there. Circle shift is going to go towards the cliffs north of Picado. That Dodger holding down, once again, taking down the high ground. And the Rumblers grouping back up at Picado. There's going to be a lot of fighting for the high ground, I have to imagine, in a circle like this. I guess you could play a couple of the ridges on the east side where the gas cans currently are. But other than that, I think it's all going to be on the north.
And so, yeah, the last remnants of Veritas going to come in and take home in the east side of Picado. And again, I mean, unless Rumblers are feeling really, really freaky, I don't think they're going to push to clear this out. There's no real reason to. If anything, it helps the Rumblers because, I mean, it's some presence to stop any crash onto the east.
Well, speaking of crashes, though, not exactly, actually. Both ATC and STK, again, just a little bit of a slap fight, both trying to go for the same compound. It's a compound that there are a lot of bodies, a lot of blood, and STK rolling up, grabbing that one, might really be wondering what happened. But ATC, because they don't have dibs on that position, forced to go on deeper and deeper. Do they try and go into Picado? Do they try and follow up exactly where Veritas went? No, instead they take a dip, they take a bowl. Bit of a shocking decision.
No, I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, you got to assume that most people's first option would be taking motel or something in Picado. So I do like that spot, and there's not too much presence on the west side of that crater, the ridge that runs alongside the C9 hill, if you like.
All right.
It could be a good decision.
Yeah. I guess I'm most people expecting them to go to Picado. The comments now, they're trying to deal some damage. Trying to get some shots out, the teams on the eastern side, but they're not in the circle just yet. And I imagine once they peek over that ridge, they're going to get taken down a fair bit. Ooh. I'm seeing the kill feed. HEC in the middle of a fight with Duel. I guess trying to go for the same position. It's a grenade follow-up to take out Linksy, but Yaxley wants to take it to PDS, Prozone Snake. Just a lot of damage being dealt by a lot of different squads. Really finding it difficult to get into this next zone safely.
And actually, as I say that, Waldo will find Marsalek inside the dip. So I know you can play that dip. I mean, we've seen that dip become a factor in the late game in Picado circles. So
yeah,
they literally just need to lie prone there.
Well, what we missed is that they got pushed by Duel, so they had to run up and around and try and save their skins, which allowed those other teams to take advantage of it. And now it's going to be the phase 4 shift away from unplayable terrain, and that's going to be most of the terrain along that ridge that Dodge are currently looking over, which is why it swings towards the east. Should be pretty expected for the Comets on this side. But will they expect the last member of Duel Penta? Crawling towards their position. They're so focused on Prozone Staken. I was about to call Vegas out for that hitting those shots, and instead it's even worse. He actually gets turned upon by Lister. A headshot there, sending out in the open. It's going to get a good revive there, and Lister does get knocked, but it's by Shuru. Blade tactically creeping around. But they can't peek Elusive because they're getting shot by SDK. So Elusive are happy about that, but oh, Zealot, a great grenade to go right inside that building. And William wants to follow up with more, but he sees a bunch flying in his direction. That one bounces good, but it doesn't get a knock. And actually, JLD is the first one to get one of his own grenade onto Zealot. So it's a 1-for-1 trade overall.
Oh, we do take a quick look at the Parsec UI. Apologies for that. We'll try and get somebody back on the action very, very quickly. CD on hand to save us. Apologies for that, guys. We'll try and jump back in with the action now. See Illusion making a mad dash towards the motel, actually. SDR fairly split, prioritizing the gas station over anything. So that's going to allow them free entry here.
While that's happening, this fight on the east side, I don't know who it favors, but I want to say it's got to favor Elusive here, if only because Clueless have a good position to try and crush onto Tactical 8. Unfortunately, I think Clueless are so worried about the Comets that they're just letting this fight happen and without a care in the world. Trades back and forth. CC's trying to make something out of it. It's Destinator coming out on top, and that engagement once again, he is proving his worth in this squad. Flash comes out, attempt for Tactical 8 to save their skin, but it's not going to happen. And once that is all said and done, Clueless are now pushing on to Elusive. Or at least attempting to. SDK, the pressure, you see the shots coming out from their compound, making it very difficult for a lot of the teams on the east side to really throw their weight around.
And somehow Penta not been cleaned up by Comets just yet. I guess that's their next obstacle. Dodge haven't flexed down into the terrain just yet. Again, I think they're still trying to utilize that high ground. SDK still big chilling. I'll put the Sonic's aftermath.
Yeah, it's not a lot that they can do at this moment, but I do wonder how much further they can push from this position. If it swings down the south especially, I think it's going to be a hard push. They could potentially use the rocks later on in the game. That is, if Dodge allow them to, because they're still on the high ground. They themselves going to have to try and climb down, scale down the cliffside. And another situation I don't know how they're going to get out of. Honestly, no one is center. So really, it's not favorable for anyone in this current moment, except you could argue Aquila, but we already saw how precarious that spot is.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's looking better and better as the circles keep shifting. The problem is now where that edge comes along the side of that crater on the edge of C9 hill. Don't hold that thought. Clueless now coming for an over-peak battle with Elusive now. Destinator has to hit the prone behind the tree. Does actually get that down. Destinator is absolutely insane today. He hits the second knock. Sharu finally puts him down. JLD, you got to get involved in this fight. Try and get something. Luke, fortunately, going to steal that one away. JLD going to opt. I guess he just, I mean, with Destinators getting 2 knocks that quickly, you can't really follow up, right? Oh, the molly's good. He's dead. Yeah, good night.
Yeah, that's gone. Clueless, once they had the 2 knock away from them, they knew they had to slow things down and take it a little safer, and the Molotov is exactly how you do that. Not the happiest about losing that Destinator kill, but yeah, that's, once again, just man is coming up huge for his team. Wasn't able to survive that fight, unfortunately, but with a circle shift like this, I don't know if Clueless is going to be able to get out of this one. Their vehicles, I think, are very rugged, to say at least. The NHS actually goes out to the plays, or at least knocked by it.
SDK getting a little bit of pressure from afar. NHS will bleed. We know that was the blue knock. Maybe a tag did come in from SDK. Nobody actually looking like they want to take away Aguila's position, but Comet's now actually set up on the ridge as Clueless pull up. Yaxley actually going to get shut down by Hambino. Like Yaxley had the jump on them there as they pulled up. Voxic going to steal one away and knock Nick. Hambino will fall to Oldless as well. This is falling apart now for Clueless. They pulled up right in view of a couple of teams.
Vegas peeks over. He could find the angle, and I think he just barely spotted Shuru. Just trying to lean up against the wall as best as he can. Peeks up, spots ahead, prones right back down. There it is, but I think his ankle is showing just above on the slope of that ridge, but Vegas is immediately knocked and returned by Civ, so now it is just Monty for the Comets. And you can see just how bad of a position this entire area is, why no one is able to survive in this spot. He's able to find a fair bit of loot from the dead bodies. From Clueless, and he's inside the circle, just barely. Vegas confirmed by Uncivil, bleeds out. I think Michael is now also taken down, should be revived. That's happening in Picado at the moment. Gas cans pushing forward, top of this plateau, inside the next zone, still 4 up for themselves. And they have Honey Badger in top of that tower, the watchtower, to get some information feeded over to his teammates. Facing off against Dodge right now. The two teams with the most high ground, but the circle's going to pull away from both of them. More from Dodge than from Gas Cans, and Aguila still not having to do a lot of work here.
This is the thing. STK is the sort of team that I would expect to play a position like Aguila's in the late game. So we'll see if they're able to get this Bronco out and potentially clear their way into that dip. And I mean, really, the timing will be perfect if they can get away. Obviously, there's a tire missing on that one. Is that the only vehicle they've got? I think it might potentially be.
I know they got it in the truck, but I think it's missing a tire as well, so it's going to be.
I mean, they're drivable. They're drivable with 3.
Yes, yes. Not the greatest, but it's I'm looking at the pathway they're going to have to take, and I'm worried
it's better than running.
Sprayed out. It is, yes, 100%. It is better than running, but I think they're still going to leave Uncivil behind as a plan B. That area.
There's a good bunker down there.
Ooh, okay. Actually, yeah. If they call that one up to Civil, maybe you could toss out a couple of smokes, grab that, and group up.
Okay. Okay, and it's going to be Dodge sending it straight towards Aguila's dip. Coming in 4-man crash now potentially onto this. Aguila's going to open up on Finner as he pulls in. Oh, he does actually get the first down, but their lamp's good for the trade. And is he going to get back on his feet? And again, the timing was perfect there. I was going to say, I would have expected to be SDK if they had the vehicles up and running and they weren't missing tires and stuff. To capitalize on that. Kirk going to find Monty up in the ridges here. 7 kills now for SDK. And we're into the top 8.
Yeah, as Jewel was also taken out, as you mentioned, Penta surviving as a solo quite a while. He was also actually able to get a full confirmed kill onto the Gas Cans, who are now playing down as 3. And STK Dodge took the position that I think that they were originally aiming for. They have a little bit of a dip that they themselves are hiding in, and Pretty Curdy is playing on the back line to at least give some information. Smokes are blooming out for him to make the run and group up, but with Gas Cans or even Dodge allow that to happen. They're peeking over, and the Rumblers are letting it happen. You'd think that they would have a line of sight onto Dodge right now, but they seem to be fine just being an audience to the fighting.
Actually, I mean, SDR still in this little split between gas station and motel. Look at that smoke line. Gonna be able to cross with relative ease here.
With relative ease here. Okay, there we go. Second time's a charm. But you mentioned that split from early on in the game, and they do get punished for it. It's now just a Crow left, and 3 members of Illusion gonna be pushing onto him. The preemptive nades tossed out, but Illusion prepared for it. Don't push ahead too aggressively. Instead, they're just gonna wait here, okay with sharing this position with one final member of Rarity, at least for now. He's missing a helmet, so he's been in a little bit of a scrap. Circle has centered up. Dodge still in a good position. Gas Cans unable to peek because they've been torn apart by, I'm assuming, the Rumblers. Just judging by the position and the angles.
Yeah, you got to assume that's the case. I mean, Dodge going to chill through this one. I'm not sure if SDK can get themselves into a position that's safe from Picado, or they can pressure Dodge. So that's going to be an interesting situation as it develops. Right now, sending shots over towards the Rumblers. Some good tags actually coming out from Unsilver there. But what is SDK's next move?
they gotta get some knocks against Dodge. You have to think and try and push into that position, but I don't know if the Rumbles are gonna allow them to do it. They might just. I don't know if there is a right move, to be honest. Purdy Curdy is inside. He's got a little bit of a shack, if you want to call it that they can play at least for now, but it's definitely a temporary solution. They're sending 2 ahead. Able to actually find a position that doesn't get punished by Rumblers, at least with Purdy Curdy tossing some fire that way, perhaps keeping the Rumblers pinned down.
Yeah, Lampalot's got a really high up angle though. Kurt's actually going to spot all the way uphill here. It's going to try and get this kill over towards them, and he will. Voxic will fall. That's the gas cans out in 7, so I'm popping placement now, and here you go. The peak comes over. Luke's going to swing over with the barrel. Going to find Danny first, and actually he's going to find Lampalot as well. That's 2 knocks now. Only 2 stand for Dodge, but Finna will respond onto Luke, and it's just Kurt left. Nade comes over. That looks good to get Finna down, but actually it didn't. Surprisingly enough, Kurt finds himself in a 1v2 now. Maybe going to try and find another knock to buy some time.
Preps the preemptive nade to stop the push, but the timing doesn't work out in his favor, and now it's going to be a 2v1 push. Ooh, Purdy. He tried to go for it, tried to go for the swing, go for the flick, but he does get taken out. So they're out in 5th place, a good number of points for them, but even better for Dodge right now. Lost 2 in that engagement, but they're still 2 alive. And all they need to do is just wait and clean up what remains of Mikado. Rumblers took out the rest of Veritas, and they are still 4 up. But still, Dodge's position is looking pretty good for them right now. It's just Hexete from Fabled and the 2 survivors from Illusion to try and find some way to get inside this circle. McCoy pushing ahead, being a bit of a shepherd for the rest of his squad.
Yeah, I mean, 2 up still. Not many options. There is that little, whatever the conch thing is there. The thing I see flex is that there's, I don't know what you call that. The mini ruins outside. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But McCoy has actually already come forward and taken it. So, yeah, they're kind of out of options, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It would have been a very, very difficult run over that open ground. Even if McCoy wasn't there, the Rumblers still, I think, would have not given them an opportunity, not even allowed them to think about taking that spot before getting shot down. Hexete is forced to crawl forward, sneak around. Here's the shots from Rumblers, and maybe trying to follow up and backfill behind them. A little roach or a rat in their basement. Oh, and the push from Illusion doesn't go far before it's completely ruined. Is it inside the circle, though? I think it might just be that vehicle explosion might have bumped them out just barely into the blue.
Yeah, actually, I think you might be right. Looking at it on the minimap, it's hard to tell. Hexete creeping on the backside of the Rumblers. It's actually a miracle Hexete's still alive. But I guess at the point at which he's made it into... Ooh! Okay. We'll find Waldo on the route. That's a difficult res as well. At this stage of the game, that's a very difficult res to get Waldo back on his feet.
Fortunately, Hexete wasn't able to finish it guaranteed. But you can see he's prepping a grenade because he wants that point. 0 points for Fabled so far outside of placements. So if he's able to get 1 more kill point, it's fine. But no, Waldo is actually instead just going to drop down. Los HD. Also, what's the word that I'm thinking of? It doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter. Well, I'm waiting for words to come. They're waiting for opportunities. And it's actually going to be taken away from them. Lost finds another with the grenade, but that's 2 knocked for Rumblers.
Did he get to the res in time? I think he's actually, yeah, so he's going to get the res on Waldo. Gaxy's knocked on the outside, but it's behind a fence that can't be shot open. Oh, good underhand there from Loss.
Push from Hax, pulls him up.
Oh my god, that was really, really well played from Loss.
Yeah. Had to give Waldo up to take that, but it's in the late game, and they can make more than enough do with 3. It's a 3 versus 2 right now, and here is the real pressure from Dodge's position. Utility thrown out by McCoy. He's hoping to find a good headshot. A little bit of a bait there, running out a little too far forward, but he just wants to get those grenades over the ridge, and he just cannot. Actually, Gaxy also gets confirmed. Lost gets knocked. It's all into McCoy right now, left in a 1 versus 2, and Dodge